And if
Madam Speaker, the Committee of Elections, consisting of 5 members, are to report.
If I could have, first of all, I think we need to do a roll call. If we could have the roll call done, I need to have a motion for roll call from Representative Hebert.
So moved.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I'll call roll call at this time. From the County of Van Buren, Anderson.
Here.
Anderson McPherson, sorry. From the County of Jones, George Green.
Here.
From the County of Wapello, A.B. Comstock.
Here.
From the County of Monroe, Charles Anderson.
Present.
From the County of Marion, Polk, Dallas, and Jasper, John Kinsman.
Present.
From the County of Des Moines, Alfred Heppard.
Present.
From the County of Henry, John T. Morton.
Present.
And from the County of Davis and Appanoose, Representative Andrew Leach.
Present.
From the County of Lee, J.B. Brown.
Present.
And all present and accounted for. At this time, I would like to recognize the gentleman from Des Moines, Representative Heppard.
Madam President, the Committee on Elections are ready to report.
It has been moved that a Committee on Elections be appointed. Is there a second?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. As Speaker Pro-Tem, I hereby appoint the following members to serve as the Elections Committee. Representative Heppard, Representative Green, Representative Comstock, Representative Anderson, and Representative Kinsman. Could those representatives please come forward? Are we having fun now?
Are we ever?
You need
What's
to
this
take
for?
it. Basically, it was for your candles.
Like the cigars.
Our mics are all live, just to let you know, so we need to be aware of that. You need to basically go together and look through sheets of paper to identify if the numbers are correct from each of the counties for the election. And so we'd like to have you certify that information. You can go right over here to this table. And our next order of business is the Representative Anderson is going to ask that we get the speaker, the minister. So we'll be getting that. So we'll have you go right over here right now.
I have a job balloon here by my desk, but I have no place to put my pipe.
We have been discussing this problem, and there is a need for something on your desk for your pipes. That will be passed along, and we will see if we can attend to that. Thank you. I think we're ready. wherever you are. And who is going to, is the group going to report back? We need someone from the committee to report back that the tallies are correct and that they are duly appointed. Representative, are you going to be? And you are again Representative Hubbard. Is it Hubbard?
Hubbard.
Okay, I've been saying Hubbard, and it's Hubbard.
Say, Madam Speaker, the results of the
And
elections are
do,
accurate.
Mr. Speaker, because I am Mr. Okay, Jack, I know that's hard. Is there a report from the committee?
Mr. Speaker, the committee on elections have met and do agree with the election figures, and that we recommend that the credentials be approved and the members be seated.
Thank you. Thank you, committee. Recognize Representative Anderson.
Mr. Speaker, gentlemen of the House, I think it is in order that I move the committee of two be appointed to call upon Reverend Charles R. Fisk to come to the House chamber and open this session with a prayer.
It has been moved that Representative Anderson Charles Fisk, Reverend Fisk, come and have the prayer given. It is my understanding that he is in the governor's office, and I will basically appoint a committee of two to go down and bring back the Reverend Fisk. So Representative Anderson, would you and Representative Green please seek the Reverend? We are in recess until the Reverend arrives. The body will come to order and all rise. Reverend Charles Fisk.
Please bow your head and join me in prayer. Our great Creator, we thank you for your eternal promise of life and the opportunity you bring to us this day. Bless these gentlemen with your wisdom as they now begin the task of shaping this beautiful land. As they gather together in this great chamber, guide them in their actions so that the laws that they establish will be the foundation of what will become the great state of Iowa. As we journey into the early years of statehood, allow the interaction of these first representatives to set the standards of decency and a cooperative spirit which will guide future generations of Iowans. You have blessed these gentlemen with the honor of serving the people. Fill them with your grace as they address the issues of this day, ever knowing that their actions of shaping today's future will be but a mere reflection of the past when they are remembered over 100 years from now. Our great Creator, we seek your blessing of this House and state, keeping us mindful of our place in your past, present, and future. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Fisk. Appreciate it. Thank you, Reverend Fisk. You may be seated. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Monroe, Representative Anderson.
Mr. Speaker, gentlemen of the House, I move that the editors of newspapers and their reporters be admitted within the bar of this House.
Is there a second? It's been seconded. Any discussion? Yes, Representative.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, gentlemen of the House, my good friend, Mr. Anderson from Monroe County, has asked that we allow the press, the newspaper, their editors into this body. I don't think that's a very good idea. Even as we speak, one of them has snuck in here and is taking notes without permission, Mr. Speaker, and I find that highly offensive. You know that while we were a territory, we got along well with the press, and we're a state now. We can get along well with them here also. But it seems to me that if we let him in here and we debate and deliberate, they're just going to misconstrue what we are talking about. And I don't think they ought to be allowed in here. If they want to talk to us, they can talk to us outside in the cold.
Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Yes, Representative?
Mr. Speaker and gentlemen of the House, I disagree with my colleague. This is the public's business. The public has the right to know. The public has the right to have someone here to interpret what we say and do in this chamber. So I would speak in favor of the motion to admit the press to law. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Here, here.
Mr. Speaker,
Gallery? Quiet back there.
Mr. Speaker, as we can tell, there would be problems if the press is allowed in the chamber. However, this is the people's house, and it is only right that they will be able to follow eloquent discourse that will occur in this chamber now and far into the future.
Thank you, Representative. Further discussion?
Mr. Speaker.
Yes,
I
Representative.
agree with Representative Green that the people have to know what's going on in this House, and that's why I concur with Representative Leach that we have to keep the press out of here, the newspapers out of here, their editors out of here. And the first thing you know, the members of this distinguished body, and I have to say, they're all very good friends of mine, the gentlemen of this body, but the first thing you know, they'll be playing to the newspaper, playing to those who write the written word and send it out to the public. We don't need that. We need thoughtful discussion of the issues of the day. We're a struggling state. I say we protect the integrity of this House and keep the newspapers out.
Further discussion?
Mr. Speaker,
Representative.
I agree with the motion by Representative Green that we need to allow the press. This day and age, why we have more press than we used to have, and so there'll be enough competition out there with the press to give a fair wording of the accomplishments of this body, and I think that the people need a right to know. So I would agree with the motion.
Thank you, Representative. Yes, Representative?
Mr. Speaker, Representative Comstock over there said that the press should be allowed in here to cover our eloquent discourse. Mr. Speaker, I would only say if that's all they're going to cover, they won't have much to write.
Thank you, Representative. Further discussion? Seeing none? It is.
Speaker.
Yes.
One more word in favor of admitting the press. I believe that we're all human and subject to the frailties of all human beings. The press and us and the Speaker and the courts. We're getting a precedent established here, and I think that the precedent we should have is to have a free flow of discussion that's covered by many different representatives of the media, and that in the competition between them in telling the truth, the people will choose which version to believe. I know that they will distort what we say. Any of us living in the Territory has seen how the discussion of territorial status and statehood has been distorted first by one side and then the other. But in the end, we've become a state because, given all of those differing versions, the people finally wanted to become a state, and we've become a state. And I think that the precedent established there for allowing all these differing versions should be continued now that we're launching ourselves as a state. So I speak in favor of the motion to admit the press to our chamber, and let's let them cover it in their own way. I think it's the way that's established in the Bill of Rights, in the First Amendment, and I think that's the way the body should vote. I urge a yes vote on the motion to allow the press.
Thank you, Representative. Further discussion? Seeing none, we're ready for the vote. All in favor signify.
I request a roll call.
Thank you, sir. It has been requested that there be a roll call vote. Thanks a lot. Representative John Morton.
Aye.
Representative Alfred Hubbard.
Aye.
Representative George Green.
Aye.
Representative Anderson McPherson.
Aye.
Representative A.B. Comstock.
Aye.
Representative Charles Anderson.
Aye.
Representative John Kinsman.
Aye.
Representative Andrew Leach.
Nay.
Representative J.B. Brown.
Nay.
Representative James McManus.
Aye.
The ayes have it, 9 ayes, 2 nays. The press will be allowed into the chamber. Open the doors and allow the press in. Order. At this time, the chair recognizes the representative from Henry, Representative Morton. If Representative Morton would approach the bench. This time, you know what we haven't done yet? We have not sworn on our Bible. They got us to be sworn in officially.
That's what I'm looking at.
So,
My script says Mr. Green.
and I'm looking here. We will have Mr. Green be the one, and I'm sorry.
No problem.
All right. I'm still looking at my numbers here and trying to get the last sheet. Where are you?
Right here. We just got the press line.
Okay, then it's recognizes Representative Green.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker and gentlemen of the House, I would move that those persons elected come forward and be sworn by the President and therefore enter upon the discharge of their duties at this time.
Thank you. At this time, I would like the following representatives to come forward. Representative John Morton, Representative Alfred Hebard. Bible. If you will please place your hand on the Bible and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
And the Constitution of the State of Iowa.
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office
and I will
Faithfully discharge the duties of my office
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
to the
best of my ability, so help me God.
Congratulations, sirs.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Madam Speaker, we approach the left.
Yes, you may. Thank you. I will recognize Representative Sam. Okay, sorry. May I have Representative Green and McPherson step forward, please? Will you please place your hand upon the Bible? And repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office to the best of my ability.
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations. Could I have Representatives Comstock and Anderson please come forward? Will you please place your hand upon the Bible? Repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, sir. Congratulations, sir. Could I have Representative Kinsman and Representative Leach come forward, please? This is serious stuff. Please place your hand upon the Bible. Raise your right hand. It's the Code of Iowa. Sorry, guys.
Raise your right hand.
Yes, right hand.
Right hand.
Correct. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
That I
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr.
Congratulations. You're welcome. Could I have Representatives J.B. Brown and Representative Reese come forward? Yes. Yes, correct. Please place your hand upon the Bible and raise your right hand. Are you ready? I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United
of
States
the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of my office to the best of my ability,
of my office to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, sir.
Mr. Speaker.
Representative, would you stay here and swear me in?
I certainly will.
Would you come on this side or?
Do I have to sign that too?
Want me to move the Bible? This isn't even, okay. Please put your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations, gentlemen. At this time, I would like to recognize Representative Anderson.
Speaker, gentlemen of the House, we are,
One moment, Representative Anderson. May there be order in the House, please? Thank you.
thank you, Mr. Speaker, gentlemen of the House, we've asked great service of these people, and I think for the officers of this chamber, we need to propose a means of paying them. And I move that the Pro-Tem officer of this council be allowed $3 per day each for 3 days. Move its adoption.
It has been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Discussion. Any discussion?
Mr. Speaker,
Yes, Representative?
so I fully understand the motion. This would be $3 per day for 3-day service for all the members of the body or just for the Pro-Tem office?
Moving for the Pro-Tem office.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
No.
Motion carries.
Pat, did you drive in this morning? Yeah. It's not very far.
Isn't this neat carpeting? You never look through that.
they kept it up that high.
Yeah.
So now that's an interesting thing.
This is the treasurer's office.
That's copies.
To say £100.
They have no coin.
Clean it up.
And state
Keep it working.
and we started
The auditor, the treasurer received in the money, kept the money to say
We were rich.
responsible for the building. How long is the money after? Yes, we work the auditor did then, but I assume somebody this day goes around and makes sure everything does the job correctly.
well, but they were
Territorial.
okay.
And it's, it's all right, it's your responsibility, number one, then, is to keep all the same here. Excuse
Cutler. Just telling them all about the exciting perks of the office. What's that?
And those would be?
Those would be $500 a year, unlimited cold to heat your office with, indoor parking for your horse, so it's all warmed up at the end of the hard days. And serving as governor in the absence of the governor because it wasn't on the and as well as the land office and archives for the Constitution.
So you're here for the day?
I'm here for the day, enjoying it, and we've got a good crowd coming through, and we're pleased to kick it off this morning.
Good, well, it looks great in here. I'll let you keep
I'll
continuing
do
your
that.
tour.
All right. Thank
Good to see you again.
Because Fairfield Public Access Television, can you just tell what the Secretary of State's job is?
Secretary of State, that time period was Elijah Cutler, and Elijah's responsibilities were involved in serving as governor in the absence of the governor. He also traveled with the governor and served in many ways as an assistant. He also was the archivist, maintained the Constitution for the state of Iowa and a lot of legal documents. Land titles were very important at that time period, so this office played a role in that, as well as when we were still a territory, the only two offices we had were the governor and secretary of state. So it was when we became a state that we added the auditor and the treasurer. And many years later we added the attorney general and the secretary of agriculture and the lieutenant governor. So at the beginning, this was the government as you see it. The offices were very efficient. They were very streamlined that time period. The secretary was paid $500 a year and had the perk or benefit, I tell everybody, of parking the horse inside, so it was already warmed up at the end of a hard day to go home with. So it was at that time in a position that was very active because you could picture all the settlements going on and the mapping of this new state.
Thank you.
All right. Good morning. Good morning.
No, he had
One of the great burning issues when Governor Briggs was elected was the question of banks. Nobody wanted banks. So he ran on a campaign of the only banks we should have should be well-tilled, not the banks you put your money in. So the mattresses, those corn husk mattresses were used, I suppose, as banks for the people and their money. There wasn't much money around either. It was mostly in livestock and land and corn, wheat, whatever else they raised. Money was not very easy to find. Glad to have you here. Any questions?
Thank you very much for coming. You can go on down the hall now to some of the other offices. Governor.
Okay. Okay. Where's from?
I think there's
like one of your people in Washington on Labor Day.
Oh, great. Thanks for being with us today.
Okay, thanks.
Well, CJ's right over here.
okay.
Are you getting the right pictures you want, young man?
Yep.
Good.
I think.
Everybody, come on in. Take some pictures.
Come on
This is
in.
a photo opportunity.
Been here, try the next
If you stay here long enough, I'll be hanging from a trapeze in there. We put that on about every 3 hours.
State Auditor Richard Johnson will be in your next room as you move on. This was the office of the governor when this was the Capitol building. And it was the Capitol building
Oh, Governor.
for the territorial government from 1842 until Iowa became a state 149 years ago today. The state government moved to Des Moines in 1857, also in December. The reason they moved in December was that the ground was frozen, and that was the best. Frozen ground was the best road they had. The furnishings in this room are authentic to the period of 130 to 150 years ago. However, there is nothing in here except for the books that were actually in this room when it was a Capitol building. The documents on the desks are copies of documents from the time. Our governor today is Ansel Briggs, who of course was the first elected governor of the state. He was elected in 1846, served a 4-year term, and then in a later life he became Norman Irby, and again was elected governor in 1960.
Great undertaking.
He'll tell you.
Governor Briggs was elected in 1846 in a convention ratification process rather than an electoral process such as we have now. He was not a shrewd politician. He was a very common Iowan of the day. He had, in the early 1840s, established a stagecoach company in the eastern part of the Iowa Territory, which delivered the mail throughout the eastern region of the state, was probably fairly well known across that portion of the state. When he was elected and served his term, the early issues that the Governor Briggs and the Iowa legislature dealt with primarily had to deal with the mapping of the state of Iowa. As you can see on the maps of the wall, the left-hand map represents the Iowa Territory in the shaded color. The one on the right, obviously, is the shape of Iowa as we know it today. In the early 1840s, only about 30 of the current 99 counties had been mapped and surveyed. And those were the issues that were really facing the legislature, as well as infrastructure questions such as roads and bridges, similar to what we face today. And also, how do we now as a state collect the revenues that we need to pay to the federal government, because as a territory that was not a requirement, but as a state it was. So we're real excited with this opportunity today. December 28th is obviously a very historic occasion in the life of Iowa as a state. certainly in 1846 when President James Polk signed us into statehood. I think equally as important today as we recreate possibly what life may have been like in this building in the early 1840s, but really as an opportunity to kick off what will be a grand sesquicentennial year all across this great state. So hope you enjoy this day as well as the many activities throughout the entire state this entire year. And I'm sure you'll enjoy all of the vignettes. Your next stop on the tour will be State Auditor Richard Johnson, portraying the State Auditor of the 1846. Thank you very much for being here.
Thanks for coming. Come back again another 150 years. We'll be waiting for you.
My name is Richard Johnson. I'm the current State Auditor, and today I'm playing the role of Joseph Fales, who was the State Auditor from 1846 to 1850. The State Auditor in the 1840s was responsible for being the state bookkeeper. He was the only one that could write warrants against the state treasury, and he also collected the taxes from the counties and served to audit the public officials of the state at that time. So he had a role that today is conducted by the State Department of Management, the State Department of Revenue and Finance, and the State Auditor. So his job at that time was more limited because of the size of government was much smaller then, and he had a very small staff of one secretary or a clerk and 2 or 3 staff assistants. But the job was a very responsible one. At that time, he was the chief financial officer for the state and what you would call the chief bookkeeper for the state. Well, I think I learned a little bit more of the kind of activities that the auditor had then, and got a feel for the changes that have come about over the years and how much the government has expanded. The size of government obviously is huge compared to what it was in the 1840s, and when you look at the responsibilities of the office, in a small office like this, you didn't have all the problems of hiring people and dealing with personnel problems and all those things. The government itself was much more simple. People were held, I think, more accountable. When you look at the books, for instance, a 35-cent discount on a $35 bill is an entry on the books. When you put that in comparison today, we deal with millions of dollars where we were dealing with hundreds and maybe thousands in those days. So the complexities of things you see.
Iowa's going to go in the next 150 years.
Well, I think we'll see a lot of changes in technology. I know even in my own office in the last 5 years, we've seen some rapid changes in the implementation of new technology and computer technology. We're getting to the point where we're not even use paper anymore in auditing. We have work papers that are in computer disks, and I think it's hard to see what 150 years from now would be, but we may not even have an office then. We may be working out of our homes or out of a vehicle some way.
Stay in your pajamas.
Who knows?
Have a cup of coffee in the morning and your toast.
Right. Yeah. I think we'll see a lot of changes as we have in the last 150 years. But.
I'm the secretary for Auditor Fales, who was the auditor of the state of Iowa in 1846. My responsibilities were to see to it that the books were in order. All of the financial proceedings of the state of Iowa went through the auditor's office. And so the auditor directs me then to make sure that the books are in order. And what you see me doing now is entering things in a book of records that will be kept for review by anybody that may wish to see them. And I'm a member of the State Sesquicentennial Commission. Many of the members of the commission are here today, as are many elected officials who are in 1840s type dress and trying to simulate some of the things that may have occurred in the state capitol at the time that the territory became the state of Iowa.
Good afternoon. My name's Jerry Main. I'm the state representative in District 94 for the Iowa House of Representatives, and this afternoon I'm playing the part of Samuel Whitmore, who was also from Jefferson County and one of the early speakers in the Iowa House of Representatives when it was located here in Iowa City. Okay. Samuel Whitmore.
In which county? Jefferson.
Jefferson. Yeah. You mean to start? I'm going to
He's gonna go.
Just.
But I mean, there's no reason to give a name to ask.
Do you have a pen?
Because you are playing that role, right?
He does have a motion on there to have him be permanent speaker. So that's where you come in.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Any place you want, Pat.
I, Samuel Whitmore of the counties of Jefferson in Iowa, do here call to order this first meeting of the Iowa General Assembly under the Constitution of the Government of the State of Iowa on this 28th day of December, 1846. Is there a motion to appoint a Speaker Pro Tem?
Mr. Speaker.
The Chair recognizes Representative Comstock from Wapello County.
Mr. Speaker, I would ask unanimous consent that the Speaker Pro Tem, the Honorable S.D. Olmsted, be named Speaker Pro Tem. Or Whitmore.
It has been moved and seconded. I'm sorry.
Be permanent speaker.
It has been moved and seconded that the representative from...
I think you'll need a second, and I'll second that.
Thank you. It has been moved and seconded that the representative from Jefferson County, Representative Whitmore, be appointed Speaker Pro Tem. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed signify by saying nay. The ayes have it. The Speaker Pro Tem will be Representative Whitmore.
Mr. Speaker,
Yes.
I believe the next motion is to recognize the counties that are present and their representatives.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we recognize the representatives from the different counties. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, likewise. The motion has carried.
Mr. Speaker, in conjunction with that, and to assist the Speaker, I would suggest that the Speaker call on each person to rise and state their name and their county so as to facilitate the proceedings that follow. I'd be happy to start.
Very good. You may proceed, Representative Hibbard.
I'm Representative James McManus, representing the county of Scott.
I'm Representative A.B. Comstock, County of Wapello.
I'm Representative Smiley Bonham, and I represent Johnson and Iowa County, sir.
I'm Representative Charles Anderson, and I represent Monroe County.
I am S.B. Olmsted, and I'm representing Dubuque County.
Very good. Thank you. Would Representative Bonham approach the bench, please? I think I need to get back on track with regard to the swearing in.
Now you're going to do your committee on elections. And you could ask that, and you can...
I need to refer to this one again for that.
And the Committee on Elections is, which ones are here? Is it Hubbard?
No, that's what I'm fouled up
that's
on.
who is
I
here.
called him Hibbard.
Okay. Let's go ahead and, Jerry, decide, let's go ahead and have Representative Anderson. You can
Okay,
appoint
where
these
is that at?
instead.
On the second sheet?
Your first sheet. The Representative Anderson, Representative McManus,
Okay.
and Representative Comstock. Let them be your committee. So
Okay.
Anderson, McManus, and Comstock. Why don't you just have a committee of 3 and have them come up and validate the election results? And say, is there a motion?
But I'm
And
trying
I
to
can
find
make a
this in the
motion.
script. Is that?
It's right here. On
Right
a
after?
motion of Mr.
Okay.
Hubbard, and I can do that because Hubbard is not here, right?
On a motion of Mr.
How about Mr.
You are.
Smiley?
Who are-
Bonham,
who-
Mr. Bonham.
You're Mr. Bond.
And I'll just, you recognize me, we'll go from there.
Okay, I need to recognize you, and you're from Bonham. The chair recognizes the representative from Iowa and Johnson counties, Representative Bonham.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, at this time, I would like to make a motion to have a committee on elections appointed to examine the credentials of the members.
Second.
Thank you. On a motion by Representative Bonham, I will appoint a committee of 3 members to examine the credentials of the members of the House. I hereby appoint Representatives McManus from Scott County, Representative Anderson from Monroe County, and Representative Comstock from Wapello County. You may proceed over to the table in the corner and examine the credentials. Yes.
At this time, then, when Patty comes back, we need to have, first of all, have them do their report on the credentials. And then, at that time, Patty's going to be the one you're recognizing, and so you can say, I recognize the Representative Anderson, and here they're back. And you can ask them to give their report.
And my first words would be,
I've got it here, I think a little bit easier for you.
okay.
I order that a committee of 2 be appointed. She's going to say that, and then you're going to go ahead and say, I appoint these fellows to,
No, I just did appoint them.
that's to find the Reverend.
Okay. But I'm not sure where I'm
Ask
going.
right now if they have a report from the Elections Committee.
Do we have the report from the Elections Committee?
Mr. Speaker, the Committee on Elections has duly met and examined the credentials and find that all of the members have been properly elected and certified as shown.
Thank you. The chair recognizes the representative from Van Buren, Representative Anderson.
Mr. Speaker, I would move that a committee be appointed to wait upon Reverend Charles Fisk and request him to open this session with prayer.
Is there a second?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. And I will hereby appoint Representatives Comstock and Representatives McManus to locate the Reverend Fisk and bring him to the chamber to lead us in prayer.
Point of order.
Yes?
It's my understanding that the Reverend is in the governor's office and is available when we need him, so he's in the governor's office.
Very good. We will be at ease until the arrival of Reverend Fisk.
Reverend Fisk begs leave to report that we have identified Reverend Fisk and accompanied him to the chamber.
Thank you. All rise. Come forward, Reverend Fisk. Right up here. Reverend Fisk will please lead the body in prayer.
Our Heavenly Father, we do come before Thee today with our hearts heavy. We would like to request Your guidance in the establishment of this territory and state of Iowa. Please be with us and guide and direct our actions so that they may prove to carry forth from this day forward. In Thy name we ask it. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Fisk.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, members of the House.
You may be seated. Proceed.
I move that the editors of newspapers and their reporters be admitted within the bar of this House. And I would like to make opening remarks on my motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Speaker, members, this is our first precedent-setting motion. Should we allow reporters into the House of Representatives and the editors of the newspapers of this state? The arguments could be summarized on both sides. I'll give some arguments in favor of the motion, mention a couple of the arguments that I know are current among the citizens against the motion, respond to them briefly, and then move the motion. The arguments are in favor, it seems to me, are these. One, the Bill of Rights of the United States of America establishes the freedom of the press. It also establishes the right of our citizens to peaceably assemble and to petition their government for the redress of grievances. In order for the citizens to know what's going on here, we have to allow the reporters into the House to make their reports back to the people. I think that simple explanation is enough to make the argument for my motion. Let me summarize some of the arguments that I know are weighing in the minds of the other legislators. Why not let the press get their accounts from members after they emerge from this body? Why invite them right into the chamber? Some people will say, and correctly, that the press in this state is enormously biased on one side or the other of the great arguments that divide our nation and our state. That they will distort our arguments. That we will give speeches that will then be reported
And in big area.
You know what the secret of his happiness was? Color! Lionel was a collector of colors. His mother was a washerwoman. She had lots to do because there was all that gray dust in everybody's gray clothing. She didn't have much time for Lionel, so he had another friend. Down the street from him was the house of Monsieur Leclerc. Now, Monsieur Leclerc was an old man, and he had two jobs. One job was to fix the glass in all of the buildings in the village. He was easier. And the job was to light the lamps at night. This was a long time ago. All the cities were lit lamps that had candles and fire inside of them, and somebody had to go that the city wouldn't be in darkness, and that was Monsieur Leclerc's job. Well, Lionel would stop by and see Monsieur Leclerc every day after school, just like you do when you go visit your friends. And Monsieur Leclerc would always have a small little bit of something with some color on it to give to Lionel for his color collection. Yes, he collected colors. Inside of his room, it was not gray. It was brightly colored. He had little bits and pieces of colored glass that Monsieur Leclerc gave him when he repaired the church windows. He had little pieces of colored fabric that people had dropped. He had bird feathers that were brightly colored. Anything that had a little spot, a drip, or a little touch of color, he would collect and bring into his room. His room was full of color. Monsieur Leclerc, every time he fixed a colored window, would give a little piece of it to Lionel. And Lionel would take it home and put it in the window. And pretty soon his window had lots of little pieces of colored glass. And one day Lionel was sitting in his room just as the sun went down and the darkness came up and the sunlight came shooting through his bedroom window and it went through the little bits of glass and his room was full of colored light. It was like being inside of a jewel box. Now Lionel also liked to sing. Here's a song that he made about being in a gray village. It's a French song.
Hi, this is Mark Shafer from Fairfield, Iowa Memorial Union time. We're celebrating this Iowa Sesquicentennial, and I've had the pleasure today of building the Sesquicentennial birthday cake. We just got finished, and now kids are putting glitter, shaking glitter onto the cake. It's made of a plastic barrel as the core, and then we built cardboard layers on it, and toilet paper tubes for candles with wire foil gold ribbon for flames. We dip Bounty paper towels in paper mache to cover it, and then for the colored frosting we use the paper towels again with tempera paint in the paper mache mixture, the wallpaper paste. We had as many as a dozen kids working on this at one time, and it was a lot of fun. Okay. Okay, shall I get behind it? Does she want to shake? Does she want to do some glitter and be on TV? You want to give her the? Give that little girl the glitter. Okay, shake some glitter on there, honey. Paper towels, yes. Paper towels and wallpaper paste. And then for the color, the yellow is just painted with tempera paint. And then the blue and the pink is tempera paint squirted into the paper mache. And we use wire ribbon for the candles, the gold ribbon. We started at about 1 o'clock. It's 3:15 now. We were supposed to go to 4 o'clock, but it went faster than we expected. Say, why don't you go around on the other side and here, come over here. Put some glitter right there so you're on TV. Yeah, keep working your way around. Is that your little sister over there? Why don't you go give your sister some of it? She can shake it now if she wants to. Okay, well, we're really enjoying the Sesquicentennial celebrations here. We've had lots of kids through, getting their hands dirty, literally up to their elbows in pink and blue wallpaper paste. I'm signing off, I guess. Happy 150th birthday, Iowa.
And look at the schools paint. Would you like to live in colors? Would you like to wear big colorful clothes like that? Well, I hope you all go to the Museum of Art and see this picture. Go and see if you can find it. It's there waiting for you. Maybe that's what's in it. I'm tired of sitting. School, well, good for your school. Okay, thank you very much for listening to our story. And we hope to see you again sometime.
Just a second.
That lasted for about 2 weeks. Then do what we wanted. And pretty soon, nobody cared where snakes fall were in the room. Anyway, snakes fall still the biggest problem. Oh, just a minute. Did anybody see any alligators away? Let me blow it one time.
That's fine, Kate, honey.
I don't see an alligator anywhere, you. You know where? Well,
There's one right here. Did you see that? It was a great big element of the world. It's almost like snail fun. I tell you what, let me get a magic wand and I'll make sure anywhere. What? Now they're going to have to make more coming up, and let's give you all a big round of applause for being such a good audience. Thank you. Birthday to the state of Iowa, our Sesquicentennial, or our quick announcements. Just a little bit. Okay, good. We're going to get Dave and Laura up here in a moment. There are still out of the there are some relaxed bands that still have things that come out there and walk down the hall until you hear some music playing and you'll know what's happening. Also, our course of from children in first grade to 12th grade made about 5 living without disability. And what happened is 3,000 children created art for
Maybe I can go surfing. Only I can believe it. Cross the tops of the cornfields, the other ways to drink. Everybody goes surfing tonight. Surfing highway, the second drinks. Everybody goes surfing tonight. Surfing highway. So I jumped on my bike. I went down the gravel road. I was wearing the jeans that my grandma just sold. such a beautiful surfing day, ready to sing. Everybody go surfing louder. Alright. Put on a pair of overalls. Put on a plaid shirt too. Put on a feed corn cap and a funny little looking hairdo. Now we're all gonna hang ten on a bale of hay. Everybody go surfing louder, surfing highway. Watch out, fences. Watch out for those cows. You don't want to be surfing on top of some big old sow. Well, it finally ended. I had to chase it in my when I finally wiped out on the French cow pie. Everybody go surfing, surfing highways. One more time, a little louder. Everybody go surfing highways. One more time, a birthday. Everybody go surfing highways. Thank you very much. I want to do a song from a bunch of sixth graders in coastal Iowa. They wanted to write a tune about the place where their parents worked. Their parents worked in a turkey factory. I think it was at. Huh? There's some South Still I've never heard of. Well, I got back to heaven, and that's the place I love, and I said these books to the man. This is the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost. Here's the one thing I'd like to ask. I gotta go back down to what I've seen. Let me go down as a human being. God said, gobble, 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 good, wobble, wobble, like on wood. If you're a turkey, I've been killed. If you're a turkey, if you're a turkey, if you're a turkey, thank you very much. Well, you know, I've really had my fill. You ought to try to be the president, pay all these bills. I said it's no problem. You old guys worry too much. Why don't you take a vacation, and maybe I'll stay in touch. So I called all the kids from all across this land. They were more than happy to lend me a helping hand.
Come right on up here, Governor, and you're down here. Branstad's here. Governor Ray, you're down there. And you give the proclamation to Governor Ray as they do that, and you'll introduce them here. We need Charles. Okay. We need the mayor of our city for the two mayors and they're sitting down there.
You got next week? Oh, wow. Handy guy. You didn't notice my camera.
I did notice it. It looks great. Please come up. Greetings and welcome. I'm Scott Raecker, the Executive Director of the Iowa Sesquicentennial Commission, and I cannot tell you the joy, thrill, and pleasure it is for me to welcome all of you here tonight for truly what has become a very historic day in the life of Iowa, similar to as it was, I'm sure, 149 years ago when President Polk signed Iowa into statehood. It has been an amazing day here as the old Capitol came to life, and I'd just like to mention a few of the dignitaries who are here who will not be speaking at this program, but you'll have a chance to visit with and interview after the program. Former Governor Norman Irby is here in the back and portrayed Ansel Briggs today. Lieutenant Governor Joy Corning here, also portraying Ansel Briggs. Our State Treasurer, Michael Fitzgerald, here, portraying the State Treasurer. Auditor Richard Johnson also joined us today. And Secretary of State Paul Pate, who joined us. It's so soon after this great activity today, I'm not sure it's really sunk into all of us what actually happened is all of these great people came together today to reconvene a life in Iowa in 1846. But we're here to focus on today in Iowa and the future, and there's no greater gentleman to give us that focus than the President and Chairman of the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Iowa, former Governor Robert Ray. Governor Ray was governor and served the citizens of Iowa from 1969 to 1983. And in his pursuits, he's obviously dedicated himself to the love and passion that he has for serving the people of Iowa. And in my brief opportunity to work with him over the last 3 years, as he served as a very active chairman of the Iowa Sesquicentennial Commission, it's been a great honor to see his dedication to doing good things for Iowans. And that's what I look forward to most in the next year in the future, as the Sesquicentennial can take us to that place. So at this time, I would like to introduce to you the former governor, the Honorable Robert D. Ray.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. And Scott, thank you. This Sesquicentennial would never get off in this debut as it is without Scott Raecker. We were most fortunate in being able to attract him back from Colorado, where he had a very important job in Vail, Colorado, where it snowed and they had mountains and they could ski and do all those wonderful things. But he wanted to come back and we wanted him to come back, and he's been our executive director for 3 years, and we're very blessed to have him in that role. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you to this debut. It's scheduled to be, and I think it's fair to say it will be, the biggest and best birthday party this state has ever seen. We're 149 years old today, and we're going to celebrate for 1 full year. This is the eve of the year-long celebration of our 150th anniversary of statehood. This is also setting the stage for thousands and thousands of events and activities throughout this year. We want the world to know how special this state is. This is a chance for us to showcase what we really are with the preservation of different projects, with the festive celebrations and the tourism promotions and the highlights of special places in the state and our warm and genuine hospitality. Iowa will be on parade next summer in Washington, D.C., as we are being featured at the Smithsonian Institution's Festival of American Folklife. And that's indeed an honor. But in addition to that, we're bringing that festival back to the state of Iowa so Iowans who cannot go to Washington during the summer can see basically the same festival. You're going to see sesquicentennial signs all over the state, on the highways and on the farms and in our different communities. You're going to see original art and literature. You're going to have, and you currently have, the opportunity to buy the book, Iowa, A Celebration of Land, People, and Purpose. You will be able to check out the My Iowa video at the Hy-Vee stores and the Drugtown stores. There will be musical and dramatic works throughout the state. You'll be able to use the postage stamp that commemorates our sesquicentennial. For those of you who are particularly interested, and I think everyone is interested to some extent, in education, the Pella Corporation, the Historical Society have teamed up to present every school in this state with Prairie Voices and Iowa Heritage curriculum, the first time we've ever had a curriculum like this for Iowa history, and every school will have the advantage of that. We are so fortunate to be able to produce this grand celebration because of a commission selected, 25 members selected by the politicians, the Democrat and Republican leadership in both the House of Representatives and the State Senate and the governor. It was they who decided 3 years ago, with some foresight and vision, that we should celebrate the Sesquicentennial in a grand fashion. And so I am here as chairman of the commission, wishing to thank all of you who were in the legislature at that time, and particularly the governor, who did an outstanding job in promoting this event. When we started, I think, and I see a number of our commissioners here, I think it would be fair to say that there was some uneasiness and anxiety that this was going to be politically motivated, and therefore we were going to tug at each other. It didn't happen. These people went to work. They developed a mission, and the mission said, to enhance understanding and appreciation of the individual and collective history of Iowans. 2, to actively involve Iowans in expressing and celebrating the personality and character of Iowa, and to leave a legacy that will favorably impact the quality of life for future generations. That was our mission. It is our mission, and we are going to reach that mission. 4 goals: to educate, celebrate, and commemorate Iowa's past and present, and utilize that as a tool to focus on the future. 2, to provide the opportunity for all Iowans to become involved in the Sesquicentennial. And 3, utilize existing networks to facilitate project implementation and to raise the awareness and promote the accessibility within the state. And 4, enjoy the experience and have fun. And we're going to reach all 4 of those goals. Today is the kickoff, and we had some fun. And it was fun to dress up as Ansel Briggs, I think. I loved the red velvet coat, and I thought, you know, Governor Branstad is going to play that same role, and he really doesn't fit that role very well because Ansel Briggs did not have a mustache. And then I thought about it for a moment, and I thought, well, but he did have hair, so maybe neither one of us does. Then when I learned that Joy Corning was going to play that role too, I thought, it's all gone haywire. But we had a great time. We're going to have a great time this evening. And to tell you a little more about it, because there's a proclamation coming, it's coming from the governor, a person who's Iowa's #1 cheerleader for this state, a person who has seen the advantage and saw it long before some of us of having a sesquicentennial celebration. And that's our governor, Terry E. Branstad. Governor Branstad?
Governor Ray, thank you very much. Former Governor Irby, Senator Grassley, legislators and state officials, the Lieutenant Governor, and many former officials, including members of the Supreme Court, and all of you, distinguished Iowans and guests. This is something I've looked forward to for a long time. I'm very proud and honored to serve as governor during this significant time in our state's history. And I thank each of you that have been a part of this. I want to especially thank Governor Ray and C.J. Niles. C.J. is the co-chair along with Governor Ray. They've done an outstanding job. Your choice of Scott Raecker as the executive director, the enthusiasm and love of Iowa that he's brought to this job, and the staff that has been assembled has really made this great. Chuck Offenberger, thank you for the bicycle ride across America with 150 5,000 miles, 150 people that traveled all the way across the country to tell the rest of America what was going to happen in Iowa in 1996. And thanks to the University of Iowa for inviting us back. They got rid of the Capitol. Actually, some people think Iowa City got the best of the deal. They got the university and Des Moines got the Capitol. But I am delighted to be here in the old Capitol, this beautifully restored building, which has such an important part of our state's history, to kick off this statewide year-long celebration of our state's sesquicentennial. We're planning quite a lot of events all across the state, and it wouldn't have happened if we hadn't had great leadership. And I want to thank every member of the commission. I know there's many members of the commission that are here. This is a diverse group of Iowans representing all parts of the state, representing diverse political views, but they have one thing in common. They have an abiding love and pride in our state, and they are interested in helping us celebrate our history and heritage, and hopefully also lay the groundwork for an even brighter future. It was a century and a half ago that President Polk signed a bill making Iowa the 29th state in the United States of America. Governor Ansel Briggs and the first legislature met here in Iowa City, which was our first seat of state government. It is appropriate that we gather here in this historic old Capitol building for this, the 149th anniversary of statehood, and to kick off this year of our sesquicentennial with the pride that we have in our state as we prepare to celebrate our 150th anniversary. 1 year from today, we will be at the new Capitol in Des Moines, although it's not so new that we don't have to restore it. We're in the process of restoring it as well. This sesquicentennial year is a time when we will have an opportunity to remember the past and celebrate the achievement of the people that played an important role in our state's history. And remember the timeless values that these leaders have passed on to us. They turned the fertile soil of this beautiful land we call Iowa into productive farms and bustling communities. Our challenge is to build on the best of the past to make the future in Iowa even brighter. As we were greeting the tours that came through the governor's office, Scott Raecker was saying how we're putting in place on the campus today fiber optic cable for the telecommunications system that's going to connect every school district in the state of Iowa to this telecommunications superhighway of the future. And so we are not resting on our laurels. Iowa has been a leader in education. We hope to be an even greater leader in the 21st century. As we move ahead, let us never lose sight of the roots and the wonderful, caring, hardworking, dedicated people that founded this state. It is indeed an honor for me to sign a proclamation now on this day to recognize the beginning of our sesquicentennial year. And so at this time, I'm going to read and then sign the proclamation and present it to Governor Ray. As you see, we have this unofficial Executive Department stationery that reads as follows. Proclamation. Whereas the state of Iowa was the 29th state admitted to the United States of America in 1846, and the anniversary of this admission is observed each year on December 28th, and whereas the 149th anniversary of Iowa statehood will be on December 28, 1995, and whereas this date will mark the beginning of a year of celebration and commemoration of Iowa's 150th anniversary of statehood, and whereas the citizens of the state of Iowa will honor this historic occasion across the state with educational initiatives for Iowa youth, appreciation for our heritage, preservation of our historical treasures, recognition of our diversity, and commemorative observances and celebratory events. And whereas The unique challenges facing the future of our state require public support in order to educate, celebrate, and commemorate Iowa's proud past, vibrant present, and promising future. And whereas we call upon all people to observe our state's year-long 150th anniversary celebration, now therefore on Terry E. Branstad, Governor of the State of Iowa, do hereby proclaim December 28, 1995 as the beginning of Iowa's Sesquicentennial year, with the celebration continuing throughout 1996 to Iowa's 150th anniversary of statehood on December 28, 1996. It is my honor and privilege to present this to my good friend, the most popular governor who ever served the people of Iowa, and the chair of the Sesquicentennial Commission, the Honorable Bob Raecker. We're here in Johnson County, and we have the mayors of the two major cities here in Johnson County, the mayor of Coralville and the mayor of Iowa City. And I'd like to introduce them and ask them to come forward at this time. Alan Axtine was elected mayor 2 years ago of Coralville. Previous to that, Al served on the Coralville City Council for 10 years. He and his wife Pam have 3 children and 3 grandchildren. Al is Vice President and General Manager of Hawkeye Truck Stop, Incorporated in Coralville. Al is currently the chairman of the board of directors of the Johnson County Council of Governments and serves on the board of directors for the Iowa City Area Chamber of Commerce and the Hawkeye Community Action Program. Al also serves on the Commission on Community Action Agencies, which is appointed by the governor. And also I would ask Mayor Susan Horowitz, who has served 8 years as a member of the City Council in Iowa City and the last 2 years as mayor. Susan and her husband Joel, who is a faculty member at the University of Iowa, live on property that was part of Robert Lucas's farm. She says when she does gardening, she still finds some horseshoes and other things left over from that era. Her lifelong interest in antiques and the history of immigrants, of settlement, have contributed to her enthusiasm for the celebration of Iowa's Sesquicentennial. Upon retirement as mayor this January, she will continue to be Iowa City's liaison to the Johnson County Sesquicentennial Commission. Mayor Susan Horowitz and Mayor Alan Axtine.
Iowa City and Coralville actually are honored to help all the counties of Iowa initiate the 150th anniversary of the state of Iowa. 150 years have brought many changes both to the state and to all of our cities. Iowa City, we've grown tremendously during those years, but I believe that we have kept the same spirit of our founders, and that is our liberties we prize and our rights we maintain. We join all of Johnson County residents in welcoming all of you to the state's first capital. Al and I and our council members, we feel that we represent many citizens who over the years have allowed themselves to be locally elected officials in whom the trust is placed to be stewards of our area. In so doing, we have, and in Iowa City, we will certainly continue to maintain the integrity of our city's past and provide the area's continuing healthy well-being for future anniversary parties. Thank you and welcome.
I want to also join with Susan in welcoming all the people who came into this community with us today at this kickoff celebration. I prepared a proclamation from the city of Coralville to be presented today, and I'll read that. Whereas the city of Coralville wishes to join all our fellow Iowans in the celebration of the state of Iowa's Sesquicentennial, a a celebration of our heritage and predecessors, a celebration of our opportunities to create an exciting future for the next 150 years. And whereas the City of Coralville wishes to commemorate this year of 1996 with activities that enhance our community and provide all members of our community the opportunity to share our pride in the state of Iowa with our fellow Iowans. Whereas the City of Coralville wishes to participate in the education of our community on the effort during this centennial year to set the focus and the direction for the next 150 years. Therefore, I, Alan Axel, Mayor of the City of Coralville, do hereby proclaim that the year of 1996 will be a year-long celebration of Iowa's Sesquicentennial in Coralville, and encourage all the citizens of Coralville to share and participate in our celebration with our fellow Iowans and our visitors. Thank you, and enjoy yourself while you're in our city.
It's my pleasure right now to introduce to you the Vice President of University Relations, Ann Rhodes.
I'm representing all of my many colleagues at the University of Iowa, and I'm here to tell you how absolutely thrilled we are that the kickoff for Iowa's Sesquicentennial celebration is taking place on campus in the Old Capitol, which is a very important building to all of us. I can't tell you how pleased I am that the celebration is starting out here. It seems very appropriate, especially considering the commitment that Iowa has always had to education. It's great to have you all back. I hope you feel as I feel it's like coming back home. I think most of you know that within a couple of months of the creation of Iowa being a state, Iowa did something really remarkable, which was to set up the University of Iowa. And we will celebrate our Sesquicentennial overlapping with the state's. Our celebration will be during the 1996-1997 academic year. We will have events focused around two periods in the calendar. The first is going to be early in the fall. We're going to have a very big celebration tied in with the state celebration to recognize the university. And then we're also going to have a set of events around the Founders Day, which is February 25th, 1997. We're really very excited about the close interaction that we've been able to have with the state's Sesquicentennial Commission as we plan our own celebration. It's a real thrill for us to be involved in this, to have you all here, and to host this event in the Old Capitol. Now it's my great pleasure to introduce our Senator, Senator Richard Johnson.
Federal level of our government in the United States, it's a privilege for me to represent Iowa, but also to be here for this very important occasion in the history of our state, celebrating that history, so that I can say happy birthday to Iowa, happy 150th birthday. It's also my opportunity to say that Iowa is an important 29th building block of our 50 states that make up our great republic. And of course, good afternoon to all you Iowans who have come to help us celebrate. You're here for a very special event. This coming year's event would not be possible without the outstanding leadership that we have from Governor Branstad, from Governor Raecker, from the commissioners, and of course, the employees of the commission who are going to make sure it all happens. So I say thank you to all those people who have shown leadership. But it takes more than leadership. It also takes a lot of time. So thanks for the year-long commitment. For those who have been working, it's well over a year-long commitment already. But starting today, a year-long commitment to make sure that we tell the rest of the world that we are proud of our heritage, all 150 years of it. Now to me, this 150th anniversary is a celebration, yes, but it's going to be like a family reunion, a year-long family reunion, a family reunion of all Iowans. We're going to, in that family reunion, as they do, express express love, friendship, most importantly, commitment to each other. But we're also going to be celebrating 150 years as well. 150 years of our family heritage. And of course, we're going to be celebrating all that we have in common. It's this commonality that brings us together in a unified society as we are. And this commonality is called our heritage. Now, like most family reunions, sometime or other, everybody is going to be participating, coming and bringing things to the table. Everybody has an opportunity in this adventure to do that. And this will be true of most Iowans over the next 12 years, or 12 months that we celebrate this 150th year. Now, if you permit me to be personal just a little bit, I have the privilege of representing the fine people of Iowa in the United States Senate. It's a rare privilege that only 30 to 40, I don't remember the exact number, but a very small number of Iowans have had the privilege of doing in this 150 years. I have the opportunity not only to tell people about Iowa and our Iowa citizens, but also have an opportunity to listen. And it is indeed gratifying to hear the common descriptions of Iowans. They talk about our people being well educated or about an outstanding educational system. We hear about the work ethic, the productivity of our people. And maybe the most common I hear when I ask people an image that they have of Iowans, and that is that we are a friendly people. Well, if you permit me to be personal, wouldn't you be proud to represent people that are described that way? I am. So I'm comfortable being an Iowan, very comfortable being an Iowan. I don't think you can be too comfortable being an Iowan, but I'm proud of that heritage as well. While I happen to work in the District of Columbia, I'm glad to call Iowa home and to be home a great deal of that time. I love returning to Iowa, whether it's a weekend, a short weekend, albeit. Occasionally we get a week-long recess. Occasionally people like Newt Gingrich get elected and we don't get any time off. But we have an opportunity to come home and share. So hopefully, it's a place that I look forward to returning on a full-time basis in retirement sometime in my life. That's what I think about Iowa on a personal basis. I'll bet each of you look at it the same way as well. Most importantly, this 1 year ahead gives us an opportunity to think of that heritage. To think what we take for granted too often. The great state of Iowa and the great people of Iowa. Thank you all for making it possible.
I appreciate the time that Senator Grassley has been able to make available to come and be with us today. Also, you should know that Senator Harkin sends his very best regards and wasn't able to be with us today, but looks forward to being with us at other activities throughout the year. It is a very historic day. There are very, very many opportunities throughout the year that we will be celebrating. But it is a wonderful time together in this place with this group of people. Governor Branstad, former Governor Raecker, Vice President Rhodes, Senator Grassley, Mayor Horowitz and Ramsey. It's a great honor for me to be with you tonight as we celebrate our state. We have before us a tremendous opportunity as Iowans to look to the future based on our past. And with your guidance and leadership, and with the thousands of Iowans in every county that have been planning for over 2 years, there is no doubt in my mind that this will be the best state celebration that has ever taken place in our great country. And that's a testament to those Iowans. We have some Iowans before we close that I would like to mention so that those of you during the reception have a chance to visit them, because there's some great significance to some of the people that are with us today. We have Marjorie Fitzsimmons, who is a descendant of Shepard Leffler, who was an original Iowa delegate to the 1846 Constitutional Convention. He was also one of those 2 members of the U.S. Congress from Iowa that served in the first Constitutional Congress from Iowa. We have Dee Thayer, and she is a relative of Dr. John Jackson Selman, and he was also one of the original signers of the Constitution, and most notably, he also signed the legislation establishing the University of Iowa, so that's very significant also. You should also know that Ann Smothers, who is the coordinator here at the Old Capitol Museum, is also a descendant of William G. Coop, who was one of the other original signers of the Constitution of Iowa. He was a colonel in the Black Hawk War, and he was both a territorial and a state legislator. Also with us is Ethel Taylor Jordan. She's from Corydon, Iowa, and she is the woman that spent over 400 hours and 1,300 yards of thread hand quilting the beautiful State of Iowa quilt. When you look at that quilt, I would ask you to look at some of the very special symbols that have been hand-stitched in there, as they truly represent the very special aspects of our great state. Before we close, I would like to let you know we've got a great birthday, and this has been kind of a solemn and serious proclamation, and that's necessary. But the festivities must begin. And with that, in a few moments, we will break for fireworks, and the best viewing for that will be through these windows to the north, or you may go downstairs and get your coats and go outside to the north of the building to watch the fireworks display. We also have a tremendous amount of our corporate partners who are available in this room that have really supported this effort. And I can't close without telling you how much I thank all of you. I think of all the great things in this state. We have a lot of great people. We have a state full of great corporate citizens who have given tremendously to make sure that this endeavor is all that it can be. So I'd like to thank all of our great corporate citizens that have been with us tonight as well. Also, we have another corporate partner, American Greeting Cards, which has brought to us the giant Iowa birthday card, which all of the dignitaries will sign immediately after the proclamation reading. And then all of you as guests, please sign this tonight during the reception, and this will go in the state archives, and we thank American Greeting. So with that, I say thank you. Thank you to our corporate partners, to our leadership in the state, to the thousands of people that made this day and this year a possibility. Our commission members and all the county commission members. It's going to be a great time now, and I'm just thrilled to be along for the ride. So thank you very much, and have a very enjoyable evening. Thank you. Have you signed? Go. Have you signed it? Yeah.
That's appropriate, right? All right. There's a lot to be You had to go to Chicago to pick it up?
Yeah, to go